Hello and welcome to Rathod Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see very important articles which appeared in our Hindu newspaper, and at last I am also going to give you some prelims based practice questions guys. Online students, please don't skip this video anywhere. Please do watch until last so that you will be getting you lots of ideas regarding how the question can be framed in UPSC, how your mindset will be, everything guys. And now first of all let us see the important articles of the day. The first important article of the day is India's UNESCO ambassador reviews conservation works at Ramappa Temple. So recently Ramappa Temple got UNESCO World Heritage Site tag. So here you may get questions regarding this Ramappa Temple. Already UPSC also asked question regarding this Ramappa Temple in 2024 UPSC prelims case. Okay, let us see the next article. This topic it is about Indian Navy to commission second MH-60R helicopter squadron in Goa. So this article is talking about one more helicopter that we are going to commission into our Indian Navy. So there is a very high chance of getting questions regarding this helicopter from your prelims point of view from science and technology. And next topic is Nauradehi Tiger Reserve to be third cheetah habitat in MP. As you all know that we are going for this translocation of this project called as Project Cheetah, and we are getting this cheetahs from this Africa and we are incorporating in our national parks. So you know about this Kuno National Park. Apart from that, there are other two national parks which are going to get this cheetahs guys. We have to see what are those, and from this area you may get your prelims based question. And next topic is early gestational diabetes affects about 1 in 5 pregnant women. In every 5 pregnant women, 1 pregnant woman in India is affected because of this gestational diabetes. So here we have to see what is diabetes mellitus and what are the types of diabetes mellitus and what are the effects of this early gestational diabetes. It is very important from your health from GS paper 2 point of view. And next topic is right moment to boost India-Ethiopia ties. As you all know that our Prime Minister is going to have visit to this Ethiopia from December 16th. He is on 3-day visit. So here we have to see where is this Ethiopia located, and especially have to see like in which areas we can cooperate with Ethiopia. And recently one volcanic burst in this Ethiopia got impact on India. So how we are going to resolve that kind of issues in future. So this is very important topic from your international relations point of view. Now let us see each and every article in a great detail. Okay, first topic it is about India's UNESCO ambassador reviews conservation works at Ramappa Temple. The key word in this article is Ramappa Temple. So here you have to know certain facts regarding this temple, and this is very important from your art and culture. In art and culture you will be having this topic called as temple architecture. Every year, not every year, if you see your UPSC prelims question paper, art and culture is very important. At least 5 questions you can get. And one repeated theme where you are getting questions here is temple architecture. That means if you are seeing any temple in the news, of course it is very important. So if you are seeing about this temple architecture, we have 2 types of temple architecture normally. 1 minute, let me show you that. Okay. So if you see about different types of temples across India, if you draw a map of India, this is the northern part. In northern part we have Nagara style of temple architecture. In southern part we have Dravida type of temple architecture. And in between, in this region we have blend of both. It is called as Vesara type of temple architecture. So these are the very important temple architecture in our country, Nagara, Dravida and Vesara. So most of the temple falls under this Nagara and Dravida. There are very less temples comes under this Vesara type of temple architecture. So here you have to see which temple architecture is this Ramappa. Very important. And UPSC already asked questions regarding the difference between this Nagara and Dravida temple architecture. And recent in 2025 mains also there is one question regarding this Chandela's temple architecture, guys. So here you have to focus on this temple architecture very detailedly, because there is a very high chance of getting question not only from prelims but even from mains point of view as well. Okay, now let us see this topic. If you see this facts regarding this Ramappa temple, Ramappa temple is also called as Rudreshwara temple, constructed around 1213 AD, guys. And you have to remember the king. King is Rudra, Recharla Rudra. Kakatiya Empire by this Recharla Rudra, and actually a general of Kakatiya's king Ganapati Deva. So actually the plan given by this Recharla Rudra, and he was working as general under this king Ganapati Deva. If they ask king, you have to see this, that is Ganapati Deva. And if you want to know about the design everything, it is by Recharla Rudra. And next one is the deity. If you see this deity of this If you say this deity of this temple, the presiding deity here is Ramalingeshwara Swami, very important. And it is also known as Ramappa temple after the sculptor who executed the work in the temple for 40 years. For 40 years, one sculptor. He focused on every minute detail on this Ramappa temple. So because of this, the name of this temple is also called as Ramappa. And the temple stands on a 6 feet high star-shaped platform with walls, pillars and ceilings with intricate carvings. You can see lots of minute details on this walls of this Ramappa. We can understand the unique skills of this Kakatiya sculptures. And this foundation is built on this area based on one small technique called a small sandbox technique. It is nothing but the flooring is granite and the pillars are made up of basalt. So this kind of mix of granite and as well as basalt, by using these two they build this temple, and this technique is called as sandbox technique. Okay, the lower part of this temple is having a stone called as red sandstone, while white gopuram is built with light bricks that reportedly float on water. Even whatever the bricks they used for the building of this temple, they mainly says that these bricks will float even on this water because they are of that much lightweight. An inscription dates the temple to 1135 Samrat Saka on 8th day of Magha. Okay, so that is a thing. And even this temple is also have one name called as brightest star in the galaxy of medieval times of the Deccan. Especially European merchants and travelers, they were mesmerized by this beauty of this temple, and they said this temple as brightest star in the galaxy of medieval temples of the Deccan. So here you may get this kind of question: which of the following temple is called as brightest star in the galaxy of medieval temples of the Deccan? And they'll give you 4 temples which are belonging to this medieval period itself. So that is this Ramappa temple. So in this way you can expect the question, guys. And let us see the next topic. Next topic is Indian Navy to commission second MH-60R helicopter squadron in Goa. So here this article is very important, and here you have to know about certain facts regarding this MH-60R helicopter. And this topic is at most important from your science and technology, especially from your defense. In your defense, you will be seeing about your Navy, your Air Force, and as well as Army and their equipments. So here you have to see about this helicopter, guys, and from which country we are getting that, what are the specialities of this helicopter, and why we are going to commission that with our Indian Navy now, all those things that you have to know. Okay, if you see the context, it says that Indian Navy will commission its second MH-60R helicopter squadron in Goa. Okay, so because of this is in news. Okay, so why we want to integrate this? Because it will provide a major boost to Indian Navy's integral aviation capabilities. We can increase Navy's aviation capabilities, and especially we can enhance our operational readiness, and we can enhance our Indian Navy's capability for operational reach, and it will enable sustained naval operations. So these are the two paragraphs that you have to see. Especially India's blue water or blue economy, blue water capabilities also can be increased by this helicopter, guys. So because of this, we are going to induct that now into our Indian Navy. Now let us see about some basic facts regarding this helicopter. Actually, this MH-60 helicopter is the world's most advanced maritime helicopter and US Navy's primary anti-submarine and surface warfare helicopter. So it is a world's advanced maritime helicopter and will be helpful for anti-submarine operations and as well as surface warfare. Also we can use this helicopter, and it is one of the advanced helicopter in the world, and it is manufactured by US Defense. US Defense is manufacturing this helicopter, and it is all-weather helicopter which is mainly providing the state-of-art avios and as well as sensors in this helicopter, and it will conduct certain missions like anti-submarine warfare, anti-surface warfare, search and rescue operations, naval gunfight support, surveillance communication relay, logistic support and personal transfer, and vertical replenishment. So all these are the special features of this helicopters, guys. We can use this for anti-submarine warfare and even anti-surface warfare. We can use this for gunfire support and even for communication also. It is very important. Search and rescue operations in the water, logistic support. So these are the special advantages of using this helicopter. And this helicopter can operate from frigates, destroyers, cruisers, ships, aircraft carriers. So as you all know that, especially Navy means the people will be guarding in the waters. In the waters means their main equipment or main infrastructure will be ships. So in that we have frigates and as well as aircraft carriers, and we have small ships also, right? So it can be operated from either frigates or like aircraft carriers or small cruisers and even small ambitious ships. So from all these areas we can use these helicopters. So because of this, it is more advantageous for this Navy people to use these helicopters. And this one is Indian government ordered 24 MH-60 helicopters for Indian Navy in 2020. And finally, deliveries are commenced in 2022, but they are planned to complete in year 2025, and we are going to induct now one in our Indian Navy. So because of this, this is in news, guys. And what are the features? They are going to have sonar and multi-mode search radar, and even they are also mounted with forward-looking infrared turret, and even it is having a cabin, and in this cabin we can accommodate 3 to 4 flight crews and 5 passengers, and it can go with a maximum speed of 267 kilometers per hour, and range here is 454 kilometers, and it can also drop weapons into torpedoes, air to ground missiles and rockets as well. So because of this, these helicopters will provide good advantage for the Indian Navy. Okay. Yeah, see this next article. Nauradihi Tiger Reserve to be third cheetah habitat in MP. This is very, very important. So here you have to see which are the other two habitats of this cheetah in Madhya Pradesh. So first important one is you know about this Kuno National Park. Many a times we already discussed about this Kuno National Park, and now let us see certain facts regarding this article, guys. Okay, so if you see this article, it is saying that Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister said that Veerangana Durgavati Tiger Reserve will become the new home for cheetahs in the state before the monsoon next year. That means before the next year's June, we are going to have third habitat that is called as Veerangana Durgavati Tiger Reserve. And next one here is they are saying that already we had successful translocation in Kuno National Park, and they said that we have released 3 cheetahs in this Gandhi Sagar Tiger Reserve so far, and there could be 50 cheetahs. Mr. Yadav said, he said his government is also working to translocate other wildlife species into state. So please make a note, the first tiger reserve where we translocated this cheetah is Kuno National Park, and second one is Gandhi Sagar Tiger Reserve. Gandhi Sagar Tiger Reserve. And third one is Veerangana Durgavati Tiger Reserve. It is located in this place called as Naurodehi. Okay, because of this you are saying Naurodehi is a third area which we are going to get, but name of that tiger reserve is Veerangana Durgavati Tiger Reserve. Okay, so here you can get two questions, two types of questions in UPSC prelims. First one is consider the following tiger reserves, in which tiger reserve so far we came up with translocation of tigers. So here this Veerangana Durgavati Tiger Reserve is going to get by the next year. That means till today there is no translocation of cheetahs here, right? So they'll give you all these three. So here they may ask you 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, like that. So as of now, till 2025, so we have only Kuno and Gandhi Sagar Tiger Reserves got this cheetahs. Okay, so and one more type of question you can get here is, government is going for this project Cheetah and it is focusing on translocation. Which of the following areas are identified to translocate cheetahs from Africa? Means you have to include Veerangana Durgavati Tiger Reserve in that kind of questions. And one more simple question you may get here is, Veerangana Durgavati Tiger Reserve is seen recently in news. It is located in which of the following state? They'll give you MP, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Telangana, AP, like that. So here the correct answer here is MP. In this way, UPSC have a tendency to ask questions related to this national parks and tiger reserves, biosphere reserves also. So you have to remember that carefully. So in these ways, you may get questions. 3 questions are the possible ways of getting questions from this area, guys. And even if they want to make question more tough, they may give in this way. Consider the following statements regarding Project Tiger. So Project Cheetah. And they'll say that we are getting this project, this cheetahs from this Africa, and they'll say from which countries we are getting, like that. Or else in this second statement they'll give that so far we translocated cheetahs into 3 tiger reserves. So like that they will be combining current affairs and as a static thing in one question, and they will give you 3 to 4 statements, and they want to complicate the questions. So in this way also UPSC can ask questions. UPSC questions will be like simple questions, medium questions, and even tough questions also will be there, and you have to prepare for everything, guys. Okay, let us see the next topic. Early gestational diabetes affects about 1 in 5 pregnant women. This article is very important. The keyword here is diabetes. What is this diabetes? What happens in this diabetes, guys? Normally we'll call this as sugar. What is a sugar disease? Whenever there is increased glucose concentration in the blood, that is called as diabetes or sugar disease. Which hormone is responsible for this sugar or diabetes? Insulin. Insulin is produced by which body organ? Pancreas. Pancreas will produce insulin, and this insulin, what is the function of this insulin? It will controls blood glucose level. How? If there is any excess glucose in our blood, that will be converted into storage form called as glycogen. So glucose is converted into glycogen by this insulin. So it will control the level of glucose in your body. For example, if you are doing fasting, you need energy. So at that time, whatever the stored reserves are there in your body, that will be reconverted into glucose, so that your body will be getting energy if you are even in this fasting conditions, right? So what is happening here is, insulin is not produced in the body sometimes, or even if insulin is produced in your body will become resistant. So your body will not accept it or absorb it. So because of this, what happens? We cannot maintain glucose level properly. That will cause us diabetes. And in this diabetes, we have 3 types of diabetes. Type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and gestational diabetes. What happens in this type 1 diabetes? There is no production of insulin. Our pancreas will be getting damaged, and our pancreas will not produce this insulin anymore. Because of this, what happens? There will be increased level of glucose in your body. And what happens in this type 2? Our pancreas are in good condition only. They are producing insulin. But our cells are not accepting that. They are showing resistance. This kind of diabetes mellitus is called as insulin resistance diabetes. Okay, next one is gestational. Gestation is nothing but during this pregnancy period, we'll be having, especially women will be having lots of carvings regarding I want to eat that, I want to eat that, so I am getting this carving like that. So because of this, what happened, they will take some excess food. So because of this taking of excess food, and even there is a myth. What is that myth? I am carrying baby in me, so I have to eat twice. So one part of food should be for my energy and another part of food should be for my kids' energy. So here women, they will be having this normal tendency, even especially elderly people in the home also, they will be saying that you have to eat twice, you have to eat twice. Whatever the food that you will consume normally, you have to take double because you are carrying a baby. So actually that is a myth. Even I want to share one thing. So in this gestation period of humans, what is the gestation period? We have 9 months. And this 9 months will be divided into 3 trimesters, 1 to 3 months, 4 to 6 months, 7 to 9 months. So in this way, we will divide this 9 months into 3 trimester. In this first trimester, there is no need of taking any extra calories by a mother. So whatever the energy stored in the mother will be transferred to this baby itself. For the first 3 months, there is no need of taking any extra food. So what happens? We will not listen, right? So always we'll be having our misconception that yes, baby is growing in my womb, so I have to consume more food. So what happens here? So if you're taking more amount of food, unnecessary food, because of this carvings, everything, in this first 3 months, there is a very high chance of developing diabetes mellitus. That is called as early gestational diabetes. Why? Because normally how many months of gestation we have? 9 months. When we divide that into 3 trimester, so in this first trimester, if pregnant woman is developing diabetes mellitus, then that diabetes mellitus is called as early gestational diabetes. Nowadays, there is increased influence of social media. So no, nowadays, especially I saw lots of videos that whenever they come to know that they are pregnant, from that day till the delivery, they will be making lots of vlogs. I want to eat that, I am pregnant, I want this. At the night 2 a.m. I got this carving. So like that, lots of videos they are making and they are keeping in this social media platforms like Insta or YouTube or whatever it may be. So because of this, what happening here is, so even if a pregnant woman is not having any kind of that kind of carving also, they will mimic others' carvings. So because of this, what is happening here? There is developing of early gestational diabetes mellitus is happening. In India, in every 5 pregnant women, one is having this early gestational diabetes. So because of this, it is going to have a huge impact on women and as well as the baby. So why women will be getting impact? Have you ever seen if any elderly people in your home, if you are suffering with this sugar or diabetes, will this wound heal completely? If they are getting any small wound, that will be becoming very big and there will be no complete cure also, right? So if they are getting even a small injury also, that will become like infection, sepsis, everything will happen. Then what about this pregnant woman? Pregnant women, after delivering the baby, the placenta will be removed and there will be a huge injury will be happening inside the womb. And if we want to go for this emergency C-section, what happens? They will be cutting 7 layers and they will be stitching all these things. Will that wounds recover? So there is a very high chance of sepsis called as infection. So because of this, there is a very high risk for this women who are getting this diabetes during their gestation period. And women should be very careful with this. Okay, so now let us see this article clearly. And this is not only the study done in India, but even in other countries also they did study, and they said about this early gestational diabetes in detail here. Okay, if you see the context, it says that gestational diabetes in general is defined as glucose intolerance. There is increasing of glucose level that develops in pregnancy. Okay, normally it will resolve after delivery time, but early onset indicates that they have more potential severe or pre-existing metabolic issue. So normally, if you see in this 1 to 3 months, rather than this 1 to 3 months, women will be having more carvings in this second trimester. Have you ever observed if woman is becoming pregnant, they will be getting nausea, vomitings, and they will feel like I am feeling somewhat lazy. I can't do work properly. Something wrong is happening in my body. They can't even be that much active, especially in this 1 to 3 months. It is not for all women, but some majorly in 80 to 90% of women, they'll feel that first trimester is like very difficult to pass. 3 months will be very difficult to pass. And after that, fourth to fifth month will be like enjoying period. They will not get this kind of signs symptoms like nausea, vomiting, and whatever they can eat everything. They will be not having any vomitings. Like the baby growth will be having it a very faster growth in this 4 to 6 months of time. So if they are getting this diabetes mellitus in the second trimester or third trimester, it can go after delivery. But if once this diabetes mellitus is affected in that woman in the first trimester, that is from first 1 to 3 months, means we can understand that it is not the new one. There is some metabolic issue which is happening in the body of women, and that the diabetes mellitus will not be resolved after delivery also. So that is the thing which mainly said here. So normally diabetes mellitus, if it is getting in the second and third trimester, will be resolved after delivery. But if it is happening in this first 3 months of pregnancy, there is a very high chance of retaining of that diabetes mellitus even after this delivery. So if you see this study which is saying that STRIDE study involving over 3,000 pregnant women from India, UK and Kenya, and they found that around 21.5% of participants are having this early gestation diabetes. That means in every 5 women, 1 woman is having this early gestational diabetes mellitus. And in India, around 22.4% of persons are having this early gestation diabetes mellitus. And what are the risk factors if they are having obesity? Obesity is nothing but they are not maintaining their body mass index. So they are having overweight. And even if they are having any metabolic issues, what happens? Obviously, that will lead to this diabetes mellitus. And each one is in their family, if their mother or father or grandfather, grandmother is having, obviously we will be carrying our genes of our parents and grandparents. So there is a very high risk of developing that kind of diabetes mellitus. So family and personal history is also one important reason. And next one is age and ethnicity. As you all know that nowadays women are going for women empowerment, women are getting financially independent, there is increasing of literacy, increasing of education, everything. So because of this, the late marriages are happening. If you go back to 20 years or 30 years ago, so what was the age of marriage for a woman? It will be around 20 to 23. Between that, they will be getting married. But even now, even 30 crossed, they are saying that I'm not settled. After my life got settled, then only I'll be getting married. So even after 30 also, they are not coming forward to getting married. So because of this, what happened? Whenever there is increasing of age, there is increasing of risk also during this pregnancy. If there is increasing of age, there will be increasing of risk of different diseases during this pregnancy case. So here, one disease that we can get here is diabetes mellitus. Age is also one important factor. And this one is lifestyle and environmental factors. Urban lifestyle like less activity, physical activity, poor diet, and genetic environmental interactions. So because of all these also, there is increasing of rate of diabetes mellitus in women. And what is the impact here? Especially this diabetes mellitus is going to impact both mother and as well as child. Especially on mother during the pregnancy, there is increased risk of high blood pressure. And even, have you ever seen women will be also getting fits? Have you heard this fits? Okay, fits will be also one important effect of diabetes mellitus during pregnancy. So whenever you are getting this fits during this pregnancy, that is called as preeclampsia. So we'll use one word called as preeclampsia. So in this preeclampsia, what happens here is a severe condition which involves high blood pressure and even fits, and even organ failure or organ damage can happen in this preeclampsia. And this one is during cesarean delivery. Because of this metabolic disturbances, the stitches cannot be cured as much as the fast rate, and even there is a very high chance of sepsis called as infection. And next one is after delivery, women with early gestational diabetes mellitus have a distinctively higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes mellitus. So in pregnancy, if they are getting this diabetes mellitus, after delivery it has to resolve. If it is not resolving means it can lead to this diabetes mellitus type 2 after delivery. And next one here is there is also increased risk of obesity, vision problem, kidney problem, cardiovascular issues, lots of problems they will get after once delivery is done in that woman. So women, they have to be very much careful about this diabetes mellitus during their pregnancy time. And impacts on the baby, especially what happened, we are not going to maintain proper glucose level in the blood. That is called as diabetes, right? So baby will be getting blood, or baby will be getting energy from where? From mother blood itself. So we have umbilical cord, we have placenta. That is a connection between baby and as well as mother, right? So here through this umbilical cord, what happens? The nutrients transfer will be happen from mother to child through this blood only. So if this blood is not having, if you are not maintaining the proper glucose level in the blood, will this baby get everything on time? No. So what is happening here is there is elevated maternal glucose can lead to microsomia, especially the size of the baby will be oversized. If they need only 50 mg of glucose, if they are getting 500 mg of glucose from the mother, what happened? They will be getting excess amount of energy that will lead to further more increasing of size of the baby. So have you ever seen normally sometimes in news 5 kgs baby born, 5.5 kgs baby born? It is because of this kind of condition. Okay, microsomia, that is called as overweight of the baby. And each one is many a time preterm birth. So what happens whenever the baby weight is very heavy? So will that mother uterus can bear? If mother uterus cannot bear, obviously that will lead to early or preterm baby birth. And next one here is sometimes low blood sugar level. There is no maintenance of proper blood sugar level. Sometimes low blood sugar can also happens. And next one is baby will be getting respiratory distress, and we need neonatal intensive care. Okay. And next, if you see the long-term effects, if the baby born to a gestational diabetes mother, in the long term, the baby will be having developmental problems. Especially the baby can also get this type 2 diabetes mellitus and metabolic issues. And even the newborn baby will be having more body fat. Why more body fat? As you all know that whatever the glucose which is excess in our blood, that will be converted into storage form. Storage in the form of fat. So what happened? Baby is getting more sugar from the mother. So because of that, more body fat is developed. And next one here is brain changes will happen because of that. Attention, learning disabilities, cognitive disabilities can also happen in the children in this preschool time. Okay, so in this way, not only mother, even child will be getting affected because of this gestational diabetes. And women, please be careful, and even boys, in your future spouses, you have to be taking care about this diabetes mellitus. Okay, see here, next topic, the right moment to boost India-Ethiopia ties. So this article is talking about India-Ethiopia relations, right? So this topic is very important from your international relations from GS paper 2 point of view. Whenever you are getting any kind of articles related to India and that country relations, first of all, you have to open your atlas and you have to see which countries are sharing boundary with that country. So open your atlas and see Ethiopia, where it is located. Tell me in which continent it is located. Ethiopia, Africa, and it is part of Horn of Africa, right? And recently, which volcano burst happened in this Ethiopia? What is the name of volcano? Huh? Huh? Okay, Haile Gubi volcano. After 12,000 years, it burst, and that led to the formation of 10 to 12 kilometers of ash cloud. And that ash had been traveled to India because of this jet streams and easterly winds, right? And because of this, we cancelled many flights, emergency in Delhi, everything happened, right? Okay. So now let us see this article. Why this article is in news? Because our Prime Minister, he is on visit to this Ethiopia. He is going to have around 3 days of visit, guys. So because of this, it's in news. And here you have to see what are the areas of cooperation between India and Ethiopia. That is very important. Okay. So if you're talking about Ethiopia's population, around 109 million population is there in this Ethiopia, and there is a very high prospects of high economic growth, and as well as it is part of Horn of Africa, and it is going to have a huge market access and as well as resources. So because of this, India is going to have huge opportunities if you are going to have good relations with this Ethiopia. So first important opportunity is trade and investment. So Indian firms in this Ethiopia can tap East African and continental markets. And if you are making this free trade agreement, obviously we can have duty-free tariff preferences so that we can boost Ethiopian exports like coffee and as well as pulses, guys. So coffee and pulses we can get from Ethiopia. And next one is we can also focus on agro processing industries, light manufacturing industries, and even our pharmaceutical companies markets, especially goods, our pharmaceutical companies medicines or like any syrups or anything, we can reach this Ethiopia. So here the first one is we can have the potential to tap this trade and as well as investment. And this one here is this relations will also helpful for maintaining of agriculture and food security. Around 80% of Ethiopians they reliant on farming itself, and India's green revolution model will be helpful for increasing of its productivity. And even we are going for discussions on sustainable practices, solar pumps, off-grid energy, and as well as International Solar Alliance. And next one is we are going to replace Soviet era equipment, and Ethiopia seeks Indian training and gear. And we are going to have memorandum of understanding regarding capacity building, joint exercises, counter terrorism alignment, and how we have to control these regional tensions. Example, Eritrea, Somalia, dynamics, etc. And this one is Ethiopia also sends most African students to India so that we can expand our IIT linkages, scholarships, and as well as we can address this problem of youth unemployment. And this one is we are focusing on digital and green technologies. We are focusing on GPI export, cyber security, hydropower, etc. So these are the certain opportunities that we are going to get with this meet. And once meeting is finalized, once the meeting is done, we will be getting exactly the updates regarding which agreements we had signed with this Ethiopia and how it is going to impact India's economy, India's trade, India's interest in Africa. Okay, so what are the challenges here? We have certain challenges in this meet. The first one is internal and regional instability. Always Ethiopia will be in this civil war. So because of this, what happened? There is no proper political stability. And if you are going for investment in this Ethiopia also, it will be a big doubt like whether we can utilize this investments properly or not. Okay, and next one here is we are also having regulatory and operational barriers. Forex access is not properly there, and even inconsistent taxation in this Ethiopia, and even land issues are there. And even if you're going for this mining in these regions, there is no proper transport, there is logistic facilities are not there properly. And even this Ethiopia is a landlocked country. So because of this, there is no proper ports and trade routes which are there to go for trade. And this one is competition scale. China is also increasing its dominance in this Ethiopia. That is one important problem now. And next one here is after this COVID-19 also there are certain vulnerabilities in health and as well as supply chains. So here if you are going for this partnership, sometimes this partnership may not be a win-win situation for India and Ethiopia. So these are the challenges that are given in this article, guys. And here in our editorial page in our Hindu, mostly what are the topics that we discussed in our yesterday's class and day before yesterday's class was there. So there is one article, it is about RBI's interest rate. So what is the news regarding RBI's interest rate? RBI decreased interest rate, right? Repo rate had been decreased. The same article which is there in our today's newspaper. And next one article, it is about stubble burning. So recently we got some data regarding satellites related data which said that whatever government said around 90 to 92% of reducing of stubble burning is not there practically, because whatever the information that we correct. So they said one important keyword, that is nothing but fire count, right? So I made you to wrote what is this fire count also. So they said that according to this fire count data, there is only 30% of decreasing of this stubble burning. So whatever the government's claims is not exactly same. So again, the same article is given here. It is about the data. So just see about what are this fire counts and what are the reasons why these farmers are going for this stubble burning in this Punjab and Haryana region in winter season. And you have to see about what steps we can take. So in our earlier class, I gave like short term, medium term, and long term measures also clearly, no. So once go through that class notes and try to revise that. That's it. Nothing more than that, guys. And now let us see the prelims based question. See the first question. Which of the following best describes the Horn of Africa? It is previous question, guys. See, A is it includes Ethiopia, Somalia, Djibouti, Eritrea. It is primarily a desert region shared by Egypt and Sudan. It refers to southern tip of Africa, including South Africa. It is a western coastal region of Africa. What is the right answer? Horn of Africa, where it is located? You see here. So this part is called as Horn of Africa. Yes? So which countries are there here? Countries are not appearing on the screen, ma'am. Don't say that. Djibouti, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Egypt. Egypt will not. South Africa, na? Okay, they are Ethiopia, Somalia, Djibouti, and Eritrea, not Egypt. Okay, Ethiopia, Somalia, Eritrea, Djibouti. So you have to remember those countries for sure. I don't know how will you, but this is previous question. Not exactly the previous question. They asked about which of the following countries the part of Horn of Africa. Okay, see here next question. Consider the following statements about Ramappa temple. It was built during the reign of Kakatiya ruler Ganapati Deva. It features lightweight porous bricks known as floating bricks in its Vimana. The temple is an example of pure Dravidian style of architecture. Okay, option A. What is about this Dravidian style? So in the pure Dravidian style, what is the major feature of Dravidian style of temple architecture? Boundary wall. Next one is water tank inside. So do this Ramappa temple has boundary wall? Observation is very important. Do this Ramappa, you guys from that region only, no? Oh, okay, now tell me, this Ramappa temple is having any boundary line or not? Boundary wall. Huh? Now they are going for construction. Normally this temple, no. So the major feature of this Dravidian style of temple architecture is they should have a pakka 100% boundary wall, and this one is water complex. Do you know this water area? So normally if you go to the South Indian temples, we will be washing the legs and we will be entering into the temple. That is the, normally that is the thing we will follow now. In Nagara style of temple architecture, there is no water source. But in South we have. Do we have this Koneru or something tank in this Ramappa temple? Temple Durangad. It should be like near to the temple. Okay, so actually it is a mix of Dravidian and Nagara style of temple architecture. It is not purely Dravidian. So we can eliminate this third statement. What is the right answer? 1 and 2. Okay, so in this way, you will be getting some questions. You will be knowing for sure 1 or 2 statements, but others you will be getting confused. But based on your observation, you have to come up with a conclusion whether that statement is right or wrong. Okay, so in this way, you have to use your common sense in your examination. Not just blindly reading books will not give you 100% statements. 100% statements of this UPSC will not be there in any book. So based on your observation, based on the common sense, based on the reading pattern, based on the extreme words, you have to eliminate that. So I will be taking you this kind of classes. Actually, Shalini ma'am is not feeling well, it seems. So she'll be coming within 2 to 3 days. She postponed. She missed her train yesterday. I'll be taking, after completion of ethics, I'll be taking 2 classes regarding how to solve these prelims questions. Already you'll be having this prelims test, no? I'll be taking classes regarding this prelims, how to handle this question, how the questions will come, how many types of questions are there, how you have to analyze those questions, everything. I'll be taking classes till your ma'am comes. It will take like 2 to 3 days only, not more than that. Today and tomorrow I'll be completing your ethics. After that, I'll take this classes for prelims. And your first exam is there on 20th. Okay. Yeah, online students, if you want to join this GS Prelims cum Mains Foundation course, either online or offline, you can join within this 2 to 3 days, guys. And if you want to talk to me regarding that course, you can directly contact me. You can come to the office, which is located in Ashok Nagar, or else you can call me on this number 8074765513. And the new batch is going to be started within 2 to 3 days, guys. And thank you so much, guys, for watching. And please do like this class and share this class. And don't forget to subscribe to Rathod's IAS Academy. And if you want to give any review, please do click the link which is given in the description box and give this rating and as well as link, guys. Okay. Don't forget. Please click the link. Please don't give your review in the comment box. Okay. Thank you so much.